All right, what is going on? It is Nate and I'm back with another video. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about your self-image and how your self-image basically determines every single thing that you experience in this life, every decision that you make, every action you take, every result you get. Every single part of your life is governed by this self-image, and I'm not only going to tell you about what the self-image is, but also show you how to reprogram it, right? So first things first, I'm going to break down the mind real quick, and then I'll go into more of the self-image, right? So if it's your first time watching me, I like to cover this mindset material, right? Because I want you guys to be able to combine the mindset, the spiritual side of things to the business side of things so you can create whatever life that you desire. So first things first, this figure right here, Bob Proctor is the one that made it famous to me, or made it known to me. He got it from someone else, and I'm sure that person got it from someone else. But anyways, this is the image, right? And this is the best image, or not the best image, but this is an image of the mind, because you need an image of the mind if you are going to be able to work with something, right? If you want to change something, first you have to know what it looks like. So let's go over the two parts of the mind and then what that leads to. So you have your conscious, let me get my laser. So you have your conscious mind, right? So that is your thinking mind. If you think, I'm making $100,000 this month, right? You are thinking that. Your programming isn't necessarily thinking that, but you had that thought, or you thought, you watch this video and you obtain information, it'll be in your conscious mind. You go to school, that information is in your conscious mind. All of this information is in your conscious mind, and it doesn't do anything until it gets to the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind, that is where your self-image is. That is where it is stored. Think of it like your computer programming, like iOS, right? If you have an iPhone, like whatever software you have downloaded, that is what you're going to use. And so basically what I'm saying is, if you change this software, if you change this programming of who you see yourself to be, that is the best way you can change your results, right? Because I see so many people, and so many people deal with this. I mean, it's everywhere. Is they'll go from a job to a business, or from one business to another business to another business to another business, and they're just like, I just can't find success. I can't do this. I can't pass this mark. I can't get past this. Or I started this, this, and this, and I'm at the same spot in all of them. And so what that is it is a self-image problem. You don't see yourself as someone who is greater than that situation. And so basically what you have to do is you have to form a new self-image so you can reprogram this part of your mind so that your internal self is greater than your present self, and that difference will be reflected into the outside world, right? So you need to understand also that this outside world, the physical world, is a world of effects that we are the cause of, right? This building is here because someone thought about building it and then built it. I'm filming this video because I thought about filming it, now I'm filming it, right? So every single thing that you experience in this outside physical world is an effect. And so what people do is they look at the effects and then they try to change the effects by changing the effects. But the truth is, if you want to change the effect, you have to change the cause, and the cause is your subconscious mind. It is your spiritual programming. It is who you see yourself to be, right? And so here's the problem. People see themselves as a failure, right? Just to be straight up, you see yourself as a failure. You see yourself as someone who doesn't have successful businesses, who can't get any followers, who, whatever it is, whatever problem you are facing, someone who's overweight, someone who's severely underweight, someone who can't wake up early, whatever it is, someone who can't stick to a diet, all of these different things that we think is just part of who we are. The crazy part is you are the one who made you that way, and you can change that. If you see yourself as someone who can't stick to a diet, at any point in time, you can decide to be someone who always sticks to the diet. But the problem is you can't focus on the external world. You can't focus on the conscious mind. You can't focus on the world of effects. You have to go inside. Because you have to remember, this is an upside down kingdom, right? The kingdom of God is an upside down kingdom. It's the inside out. Everything is upside down. So you think that what you need to do is work on the outside world to change the outside world, but what you really have to do is work inside to change the outside. Work inside out, top to bottom. Spiritual, intellectual, physical. You have to work from the top to the bottom. So what I need you to do is I need you to understand that if you have this self-image of yourself, if you see yourself as a failure, right? If you I started this business, it failed. I started that and it failed. I started this and it failed. And then I did that and it failed. You have this image of yourself as someone who isn't successful. So now every single job, business, video you make, every action you take is coming from this state of, I can never succeed. I'm always failing. Nothing's ever working. And so you're putting out that energy, and that energy determines what it is that you get out of this life. So the very same person, right? Someone who films this video that I'm filming right now, if they're like, oh my gosh, like, no one watches my video, like this sucks, no one watches my stuff, like they're going to get different results than someone who films the video and like, oh my God, I'm changing lives with this content, right? Whether it's 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people, 50 people, I know that whoever's watching this is changing their life. That very thing will happen. If you start a business and you say this business is changing lives, that very thing will happen. If you start a business and you say there's no way this is going to work, you're right. That's the crazy part. The crazy part is you're never wrong when it comes to what you think you are capable of, because you set your own limits. And so that's what I'm here to say, is you have to realize that this subconscious mind, that is the spiritual side of you. That is the godlike side of you. That is the perfect part of you. And so what happens is our conscious mind, what we do is we put a box, right? So the best way I can really explain this is our conscious thinking mind, right? So whatever we think is logical, whatever we think is realistic, whatever we think we can do, what's happened in the past, what we think could happen based on this, that, and that, we put a box on this subconscious mind. But what I need you to realize is the subconscious mind, that is the spiritual side of you, that is the godlike side of you, that is the Christ within you, that is the God within you, that is the kingdom of heaven within you. That is your inner perfection. And so what I need you to realize is your subconscious mind is infinite. It is unlimited. The capabilities, the possibilities are unlimited because it has access to all of the knowledge in the world. All of the knowledge is 100% evenly present in all places at all times. God is 100% evenly present in all places at all times. Everything that you need is already existent. Everything you need to know, every step you need to take, every mystery you need solved, the solution is right at your fingertips, but you have to tap into that, and you will never tap into it if you have a loser self-image, if you have a poor self-image. And so people will go from this, that, and the other thing, and they'll bounce around, but they never find success because they don't see themselves as successful. And so what happens is they start, 3, 4, 5 businesses, none of them succeed, and then they're just like, you know what, I'm just a failure, and then that's the image they carry, and that's the very same thing that they are going to continue to experience. But at any point in time, you can change your self-image. And this takes time. Because if you are someone who has experienced failure, or you're not getting the results you want to get, you're going to look at your outside world and you're going to be like, this sucks, right? And so you're like, well, if I look around me and I see failure, how am I supposed to think I'm successful and I'm a millionaire? That's where you need to come to this realization, right? So I'm going to break down the self-image here in a minute, but first I need you to realize this. If we can agree that everything that you experience, everything that you have, everything that you do, you first think of it, I'm going to get up in the morning at 6 o'clock. I'm going to go use the restroom. I'm going to make this for dinner. We always think it. A lot of times we say it, and then we'll act upon it, and then we'll get the result, right? So you can agree that it goes from thoughts to feelings to actions. You think about, I'm going to get this for dinner. Oh my gosh, like that sounds so good, right? You feel excited. And then you take the action, you go to the spot, and then you eat the food, you get the result. Right? So you can agree that it goes thoughts, feelings, action, result. So, what I'm meaning to say here is, at any point in time, you could change your thoughts, which will then change your feelings, which will then change your actions, which will then change your results. But if you can agree that we go from thoughts, feelings, actions, to results, right? You can agree that we go down this line. Then you also must realize that your thoughts are more real than the physical world. The physical world is just a result of your thinking. Your thinking, you think about it, you feel about it, you act upon it, and then you get the result. So you have to realize that this image, this mind that you have, the images you hold in your mind, the thoughts that you have, those are what determine your life. So you have to give power to that. And so a lot of people will say your thought, and I've said this many times, and I honestly don't say it anymore. People will say thoughts create your reality, right? You hear that all the time. But here's the truth. Your thoughts, that is the reality. Your thoughts are more real than this physical world. This physical world is a bunch of dead matter. Not dead matter, but it's a bunch of dead thoughts. It's past thinking that have been manifested, and now they're just sitting here slowly disintegrating, right? This pen, I can't tell you what the time will be, but this is disintegrating, right? Because it's not growing, so it must be disintegrating. So after a certain period of time, this will be nothing. This wall, these cabinets will be nothing. Everything will disintegrate over, it could be thousands, million, I don't know how long it will take, but everything is very slowly disintegrating. So you have to understand, okay, this physical world, although it may tap into my physical senses, my sight, my hearing, my smelling, my taste, my touch, this isn't what's real, because I know that if I focus on this, I'm going to think about this and I'm going to continue to get the same results, right? Because if you look at the physical world, you look at these results, you're going to think about those results, you're going to feel about those results, you're going to act upon those results, and you're going to get more of the same results. So what I'm saying is you need to have this understanding that your thoughts are your reality. Your thoughts are the very thing that determine what time you wake up in the morning, what you're doing the next day, where you're going to go, where you're going to eat, what you're going to do, if you're going to go to the gym. You think about every single thing first. So what I'm saying is you have to stop giving power to this physical world, because the physical world is nothing but an effect. You need to realize that this imagination that you have, where you can create any image that you want, any situation, any scenario, which most people are creating worst case scenarios, keep that in mind, but you can create any scenario in your mind, and that very thing must move into physical form. It's the law of perpetual transmutation. So basically this law states that energy is always moving into form, and so you have to understand this, right? So this is the best way I can explain it. So you have to realize that this energy is flowing into our mind. That's what these arrows represent. This is energy. This is our thought power, right? And so this energy just is. It's not good, it's not bad, it has no form. It is just energy flowing into our mind. That's why we're alive, right? And so this energy is flowing into our mind, and then based off our thoughts, we move this energy into form, right? So if you're sitting here and you have this energy flowing into you and you're thinking about negative things, that negativity moves into physical form. You'll notice you're in a bad mood. People can feel your mood, right? You walk in a room, someone's in a bad mood, you're like, oh, I'm not going to talk to them. You can feel it, right? So you can feel it. And then what happens when you're in a bad mood, you do things wrong, you're in a rush, you stub your toe, you do this, all these bad things start to happen. That is this negative image moving into physical form. So this is where life gets crazy. Once you realize that this physical world is a result of your thinking, you will then realize, okay, maybe my thoughts don't create my reality. Maybe my thoughts are my reality. So what am I thinking about? So now what you have to do is you need to form this mental movie, this mental life of the life that you actually want. And then what you need to realize is, okay, so right here, you're going to get this dream life, right? So it's just going to be in your conscious mind. So for example, after this video, I challenge you, take 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, and write a life script. Who you want to be. What body do you want to have? How much do you want to weigh? Where do you want to live? What car do you want to have? How many friends do you want to have? What do you want? Do you have a girlfriend, a boyfriend? What is your dream girlfriend, your dream boyfriend? Literally write out your movie. Like if someone said you can have anything that you write on this piece of paper, what would you write? Right? And remember, don't just write about the money. Write about the happiness, the health, the wealth, the traveling, the vacation, every part of your life. Okay, so that's what you need to do. Is step one, you need to see what it is that you want. So you need to figure out, because it's like if you got in an Uber and he's like, where are we going? You're like, I don't know, dude. He's gonna be like, huh? You're gonna be like, I don't know. He's gonna say, well, then get out of my car, right? So you have to think of God kind of like your Uber driver. I know it's like such a bad example, really, but you have to realize, like, if you get in the car with God and God's like, where do you want me to take you? And you're like, I don't know, dude. He's gonna be like, get out, right? Like, I can't help you then, right? You're just drifting. Napoleon Hill in the book Outwitting the Devil, he talks about drifting. Drifting is what the devil wants. The devil wants you to drift because when you drift, you have no aim, no motive in life, and so he is just able to do whatever he wants to your mind. He can get in there with any thought, any action, anything that happens to you in your life. It just bothers you, it drives you crazy, and the devil can gain control over you. That's why he wants you to drift. He gets you to drift by overeating, sex, there was some other things too, gambling, all these different vices, I guess you would call them. Those are the ways that the devil will get you to just drift because you're comfortable. You're just like, yeah, I'm just chilling, man, right? That's terrible. You never create or disintegrate. If you're not creating, you're disintegrating. If you're disintegrating, you're moving backwards, you're drifting. Your mind is getting overtaken by the devil, right? The devil's not some creature with a spear, trying to, no, like the devil is a spirit, the spiritual side, law of polarity, right? There's the God within you and the devil within you. And so what you have to realize is the devil's always trying to overtake your mind. That's that little voice in your head. Oh, you can do it tomorrow. You can do it tomorrow. You don't have to do that today. It doesn't matter. No one will notice. It doesn't matter that much. And then you listen to that. And then you do another thing that it says, and then another thing. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm not where I want to be. I'm not how much I want to weigh. I'm not making what I want to make, because you listen to that little voice. But there's also another voice in your head. Not really, yeah, I guess you would say a voice in your head. That comes more intuitively. You have to be tapped into that. And then you'll get these intuitive pools that are like, do this. And then the devil will be like, well, don't do that. That's scary. You don't know how to do that. What if this happens? What if this happens? And then you'll be pulled. Make that video, make that TikTok, post that video, start that business. And then this little voice will be like, well, what if this happened, right? So you have to realize there's the law of polarity. Both are within you. And so you have to give power to the spiritual side of you in the good way, the positive spirit, God, right? So you create this dream life. So now what you have to realize is this right here, that red squiggly line, that is a barrier. So there is a barrier. Your conscious mind is a guard to your subconscious mind. And so you determine what gets into your subconscious mind, right? If someone goes up to you and says, dude, you are ugly, you can either be like, oh my gosh, yeah, I am. Or you can be like, no, I'm not. Right? You have the ability to say yes or no. But most people just say, yeah, and just let everything flow into their mind. But you can be the guard, right? So you have to realize that your conscious mind is guarding your subconscious mind. So what we have to do is we have to bypass that guard. So right now, if I told you, hey, you're a millionaire, your conscious mind would be like, no, I'm not. And then your subconscious mind doesn't get the message. So what we have to do is we have to overcome this barrier. How do we overcome this barrier? Through meditations, repetition, visualization, understanding, right? There's all these different things. But what you have to realize is you have this life in here. Whatever life is in your subconscious mind is the life that you're living right now. Whatever results you're getting right now, that is your programming. So what I need you to understand is you already have a programming. And so what we're doing is we're replacing the program. We're giving you an update. We're literally, think of yourself like a computer. We are updating you to whatever life you want to live. So we're going to update you by bringing this new life into your present life, right? So you're pulling this life in through these methods. And so what I need you to realize is as long as you have your current life programmed into your mind, right? So say you're making $5K a month, your business is failing, you're overweight, you're binge eating, you can't get yourself to get up in the morning. I don't know, whatever your issue is, you will not be able to overcome that problem as long as that stays as your programming, right? So think of it like your computer. If your computer is programmed to run a certain way, it doesn't matter how hard you push it, how much you try, the brightness up, down, volume up, down. It doesn't matter what you do. You can't overcome that programming, right? It has a max. So you have to realize that is your max right now, because that is how you programmed yourself. So you have to reprogram yourself if you want a new max. So the way you're going to, so you need to realize this is your life right now. This is your cup. It's full with your old programming. And so what we have to do is we have to begin to dilute this old programming through these methods right here. We have to start to fill your cup. And guess what? It'll start to dilute this old programming. It'll keep diluting it. It'll keep diluting it, keep diluting it, keep diluting it. And then eventually your old programming will be gone. Right? So you have to realize that you are comfortable where you are because that's how you're programmed to be. You're just running on autopilot. And so you live your life on autopilot. 95% of the time you're not thinking. So what you have to do is you have to get these ideas into the spiritual side of you, into your being. So when you're not thinking 95% of the time, you're moving towards your goal. So what happens? I don't know why I'm yawning so much today. So what happens? You get this dream life in here. What in the world? You get this dream life in here. So now, You're programmed. So guess what? This dream life is now your new autopilot, right? You now see yourself as your $1 million self, your $100,000 a month self, your the person who has a lamb, I don't know, whatever you want, right? You now see yourself that way. So now you are naturally thinking those thoughts. Those thoughts are circulating through your mind. Oh, I make 100K a month. What should I do for this? Okay, I'm going to invest this here. Okay, I'm fully booked out this month. I got so many people. You know, you have these thoughts flowing through your mind even before it's necessarily real. And so this makes your body feel a certain way. You now feel higher. You can feel it. If you are truly reprogramming yourself, you can feel it. You feel greater than your situation. That's the best way I can put it. And so then you will start to take new actions naturally, and then you'll get new results. Because you got new programming, which leads to new actions, which leads to new results. But if you don't change the programming, you're going to keep getting the same results. Doesn't matter what business you start, doesn't matter what course you buy, it doesn't matter. That's why the course I sell, quote unquote, is not only trading, but the mindset. Because you could buy the mindset, you could buy the trading part, right? It could be a winning strategy. But if you don't see yourself as a higher version of yourself, you're going to keep getting the same results. You're going to self-sabotage. You're going to miss the good stuff, do all the bad stuff, over risk, break the rules. All the bad stuff will happen because you haven't changed your programming, and you can't outperform your programming, right? You'll blow up. Think of it like if you ran your computer and it had a max of running a certain amount of applications and you run double those applications, you're not going to be able to withhold it. You're just going to explode, right? You're going to self-sabotage and get yourself back down to 10 tabs or whatever it can run. So it's a self-image problem, which is in your subconscious mind. And I just told you how to change that. So I hate yawning, but that's it. It's that. It really is that simple. You have a self-image in your subconscious mind. That self-image determines what you are. 95% of your actions are subconscious, 5% of them are conscious. You have to make your subconscious go toward your dream life. And it will not go toward your dream life if you do not know what your dream life is, if you do not have a clear picture of this dream life, if you are not vividly imagining this dream life, if you do not have a vision of exactly what you're going after, you are just going to be drifting in your old life and getting the same results and in the same spot. So you need to get that image into your subconscious mind. And so what you need to realize is there's going to be a delay, right? So the moment you create this dream life, you're not going to get it right away. It's going to take time. There's a time period that must elapse. But you have to become so involved with the inside world, right? This is truly how this works. Like seriously, dead serious. This is sauce. You have to become so involved with your inside world that you don't care when it happens because you already have it. You can't have something until you already have something. So if you don't feel like someone who makes 10K a month, you will not make 10K a month. But when you feel like someone who makes 10K a month, you will make 10K a month. The feeling has to come before the result. The feeling is what brings the result. Right? The feeling is what brings the result. Seek first the kingdom of God. Seek first the spiritual side, and the rest shall be poured onto you. So this is exactly what's happening. You guys, not you guys, everybody in this world, we seek the physical thing. We seek the money. We seek the cars, the houses, the friends, the relationships, the vacations. We seek these external things to bring internal fulfillment. We get the external thing and then we're not fulfilled. And then we seek another thing and you're never fulfilled. And then you don't enjoy the thing that you got because you're not fulfilled. So what I'm saying is you need to live in the upside down kingdom. You need to, I don't even know how I got on this topic, but you need to understand that what you have to do is you have to become the person you want to become. Stop asking, what do I want to have? Yes, you need to know what you want to have. But the question is, you don't ask, how do I get there? What business do I start? None of that. None of that. You need to ask, who do I need to become? Who do I need to become? How would I feel? How would I act? How would I think? And you need to go inside and reprogram yourself. You are programmed to get the results that you are getting, and watching videos, doing courses, seminars, books, I don't know. None of it will do anything for you if you do not go inside and change. Right? I have spent so much time studying this stuff too much time, and I have not spent enough time going inside. And that is what I'm here to tell you. You need to understand this information, which is not that complex. Yes, it is extremely complex if you really want to understand how every single thing works. But what I'm telling you is it's this simple. You have a conscious mind. This is the way that you think. 5% of your actions come from your conscious mind. You say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow. That is a conscious thought. I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to start a diet. That is your conscious thought. 5% of your thoughts will match that. 95% of your thoughts will go against that if you are not someone who regularly goes to the gym. What I am saying is you need to see yourself as someone who goes to the gym every single day, and you will start to go to the gym every single day. You need to see yourself as someone who makes millions, and you will start to make millions. But if you seek the money, if you say, once I have $10,000, then I'll be happy, then you will never get the $10,000 because you are relying on the $10,000, which means you are attached to it, and you have to detach. So what I'm saying is, you decide on what you want, right? This dream life. So let's say you want $1 million. You want that $1 million for the way that it will make you feel. You don't want the $1 million because of the numbers. You don't want it because of the paper bills. You want it because of the sense of security, the confidence, the feelings of success, the feelings of, whatever it is that you're chasing. It's a feeling, right? Believe it or not, it's a feeling. You want a new car for the way it makes you feel, the way it makes you happy, makes you smile, right? You want to go on the vacation because you want to relax. You want to spend time with family. You want these things for the way they'll make you feel because you want to feel fulfilled. But what I'm saying, this is, oh my gosh, this is so much sauce. You need to feel this now. You need to feel like a millionaire so much. Literally get into a meditative state and start to tell yourself, I am in my millionaire self. I am living in my millionaire self. And you will feel the feelings of your millionaire self, and then you hold that feeling all the time. You make that a part of your feeling. You are always holding a feeling all the time. You have a feeling of something going on, and it is subconscious. And so what I'm saying is you need to become conscious of the unconscious, and then rewire that, and then make it your unconscious again. So you have this conscious, right? This conscious, which let's say it's $5,000 a month. You need to subconscious. So this is unconscious, right? You're not thinking about it. You make $5,000 a month. You need to be conscious of these thoughts. You need to now rewire these thoughts to match your new being, $100,000 a month, let's say, right? So right now you're making $5,000 a month and you're not thinking, you're just drifting through life. You now realize these are the thoughts that you are having. You need to now start thinking these thoughts and reprogram yourself so that these $100,000 thoughts are your new subconscious, your new unconscious thoughts, your new natural programming. And you do that by becoming the person you need to become before you have the physical results. You become the person you want to become by getting the feelings. Like Neville Goddard said, feeling is the secret. So you're chasing the money for the fulfillment of peace, of success, confidence, security, right? So you need to feel those feelings now. You need to get addicted to that feeling. Make it a part of who you are. And then you won't need the money to make you feel fulfilled. You'll already feel fulfilled before you have the money. Before anything has changed in your life, you will feel fulfilled. That very feeling is what will bring the money. Seek first the kingdom of God. That means seek the feeling, seek the spiritual side of it. Be fulfilled inside, and that is what will bring all of the rest. The rest will be poured onto you, but you have to seek first the kingdom of God. You can't seek first the money or the cars or the house. You have to seek the spiritual world, because we are spiritual beings. So that's what it comes down to. Decide on what you want. Ask yourself, what would I feel? How would I feel? What would I be feeling? You learn to get addicted to those feelings, and those very feelings are what will attract that situation into your life. You will be able to detach, right? People talk about the law of detachment. That's like a secondary law. The law of detachment comes because you have internally shifted. When you have internally shifted to believing you already are that person, you do not care when it happens physically because you already know that's who you are. So a lot of people be like, oh, you just need to detach, you need to detach. You can only detach if you attach to being that person already. You cannot detach just by detaching. If you want to make $1 million and you're poor, you're not going to just be like, oh yeah, okay, I'm cool now. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I want money, right? So when you internally shift, when you become the person you want to be, when you make that shift inside, right? Go inside. Go in the closet and shut the door, right? That's what it says in the Bible. You need to go inside. And so that internal shift, the subconscious shift, is what will bring you new feelings. Those feelings are what attract things into your life. And based on your feelings determines what opportunities, what money, what people, what places, what things, what decisions, what actions, what every single thing that comes into your life or goes out of your life is based on your feeling. So when you learn to feel the dream life, that very feeling will allow you to detach from it because you already have it. Because you remember, the spiritual world, the mental world is more real than the physical world, right? This is what's alive in creating this. So when you realize this is what's real, I already got it here, it is coming, I don't care when it comes, I already got it. You'll detach from it. You'll be able to flow with life, right? Life has a flow. Think of it like a river. It's flowing. You don't want to swim up the current. You want to flow, but you don't want to flow just in a form of like drifting, like just flowing through life, not going anywhere, just doing crap. You need to flow, but with that image. Flow with the mission. Bring this message to your subconscious mind and then go with the flow. Go with the flow once you know where the flow is going to go. That was sauce. I'm just saying. All right. That's all for this video. That's enough sauce. So my challenge to you, write a life script. What is your dream life? Who do you want to become? How much do you want to make? Where do you want to live? What do you want to do? How do you want to help people? What do you want to, what cars do you want? What house do you want? Where do you want to travel? Create this new being. And then ask yourself, how would this make me feel? Focus on one thing at a time. If your goal is to make $100K a month, think about how that would make you feel. Feel it now. Do meditations, visualizations, and feel it. That very feeling is a frequency. This world operates on frequencies, law of vibration. I can make a whole other video. I have many videos talking about that. Law of vibration, everything operates on frequencies, everything vibrates, nothing rests. You get onto the frequency of what it is you desire, the 100K a month, it has to come to you. If you fuse with it. You fuse with it by becoming one with it. You become one with it by deciding on what it is you want, going internal and making that a part of who you are, going into your subconscious mind and allowing that to be who you are, which the subconscious mind is open through repetition or through meditations, right? Your conscious mind has to be asleep. If you do it right before bed, you listen to certain sounds, you need to be totally relaxed. When you relax, you go into theta waves in your brain. These theta waves allow your subconscious mind to open up, right? Right before you go to sleep, if you're watching a movie, a scary movie, you fall asleep watching it, you're probably gonna have nightmares, right? Because it goes right into your mind. So what I'm saying is you need to open up this mind by getting into a relaxed state or right before bed. You need to then plant these images of who you are, plant it, first person view. See yourself making the millions, see yourself with the clients, see yourself, whatever it is you're doing. Plant these images and then that will become a part of who you are. Your subconscious mind will then accept it and then move that into form. It's in Neville Goddard's book. People will say, okay, I'm planting this image. Now what action do I take? You should never ask yourself, what action do I take? That means you are not taking inspired action, which means your image has not made it to your subconscious mind. Once the image makes it into your subconscious mind, you will naturally be taking these actions that will take you where you want to go. So if you do not know what actions to take, that means you have not made this image into your subconscious mind, which means you need to spend time going inside. You need to figure out what it is you want. You need to become one with that person. That actions will naturally come from there. I'm not saying you don't have to take actions, but I'm saying the actions will come naturally, not from a place of what action do I need to take and forcing it. So if you don't know what step to take, step one, you need to figure out what it is you want. Step two, you need to plant that image in your mind. Once that image has made it into your mind, you will then be urged and inspired. Your intuition will pull you to take certain actions. These actions will take you to where you want to go, but taking these actions will be scary because they're going to be actions you have not taken before, or they're going to be uncomfortable situations because it is new results you want. You're going to have to take new actions, new decisions, new changes is what is going to bring new results. So you have to realize that there's a terror barrier. When you go to take these new actions that you are being inspired to take, you will be scared for your life. You will be like, how in the world am I going to do that? I don't know how to do that. What if this happens? What if they say this? What if this goes wrong? Do it. If you're being naturally pulled to do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it fast. The more you think about it, the more you give yourself analysis paralysis, and the more you talk yourself out of it, the less power and inspiration the idea has, the more likely you are to not take the action. All right, this video was literally 34 minutes of straight sauce. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys take notes on these, and I hope you guys are applying them. And I will catch you guys in the next video. I hope this video helped. I hope you guys are enjoying these type of videos, and I will catch you guys in the next one. All right?